There are three main types of commonly used vapes in Australia: mods, pods and disposables. All three of these devices are used to vape e-liquids. E-liquids in Australia contain propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, which are food additives, nicotine and flavours. It is also possible to get cannabis containing e-liquids or other substances in e-liquids, but it's pretty uncommon here, especially compared with the nicotine containing e-liquids. First, we'll start by looking at the mod. So there's a huge variety of these mods, or box mods as they're sometimes called, and we're not going to go into detail of all of them here, but just in general, like all vaping devices, these are powered by batteries. These ones are rechargeable. And the batteries create the power that heats the coil and wick that is found within this part of the vape. And that heats up the liquid, which is poured through the top of the device here into this tank. So this device is referred to as open tank, which means that you refill it yourself with the e-liquid that you buy separately. These devices also have an on-off button, which turns the display screen on and can be used to fire the device when you're ready to inhale. You can move this part here to increase or decrease airflow, which can impact the flavour production. On the digital display, you can do things like increase or decrease the wattage, which can improve flavour and vapour production. And some devices also have things like puff counters, so you can track how much you're using your device and how much charge is left in your battery. These devices do require some maintenance, and this is mostly around cleaning out the tank, especially between different flavours, and also then changing the coil and wick, which will need to be done every few weeks as they do wear out. In the device I've got here, this is really easy to do. You just screw off the top, pop out the coil and wick, and you can buy pre-made new ones that you just pop back in. These devices are really customizable, but they can be a bit technical. So we usually see them used by adult vapers who are trying to reduce the harms from smoking, but want to get the most out of their experience by being able to customize the flavour production that they get and get the right nicotine concentration for them. People can legally obtain liquid nicotine with a prescription from their GP and then use it in a device like this one. The next device we're going to have a look at is pods. So these devices are called pods, and that's because they have these removable pods that pop into the top here. Some of these cartridges come pre-filled with the e-liquid, and others like this one you can buy empty and you refill them. However, the little coil and wick in these cartridges will also wear out over time. So even with these refillable cartridges, you will need to replace them over time, and you can buy them new to refill and pop in the top. The batteries in these devices are in the bottom part here, and they're also rechargeable, so you can see the charging port there. These devices are much simpler to use than the mods we just looked at, but they're also used by many adult smokers who are trying to quit, as you can get products like this one via prescription. Now to the third device, the disposables. There are a range of these different products in Australia. These are just a couple in front of me now, and we know that these are the most commonly used by young people here. These are fully disposable. You buy them, use them, throw them away. There's no recharging or refilling. They're the most simple to use of all the devices. They're automatically activated, so there's no on-off button. They just heat up when you inhale on the device. Internally, these devices look a little different to the other ones we've seen today. This is the battery here, and this part here is where the e-liquid is stored. So they don't use a chamber like the other devices. It is a soft piece of material soaked in the e-liquid, and the coil and wick is within here. The single-use nature of these products mean a lot of batteries are going into landfill, which is bad for the environment. You need a prescription to purchase liquid nicotine in Australia. And we believe many of these products are being purposefully mislabeled to omit any mention of nicotine so they can be sold here. This loophole has allowed for unregulated products to appear on the market. There is no way for the user to know how much nicotine is in the product, as the label has been changed. Also, we know there can be other unlisted ingredients which could be toxic, so you really don't know what you're getting. If you're working with a young person who vapes, it can be helpful to clarify what they're vaping and what type of device they're using, because the information we provide to them or the support or harm reduction advice may change depending on what they're vaping or the device they're using. For more information on vaping, visit our website, dovetail.org.au.